32 roster spots, 32 teams. How will Zach Berman and I build out our rosters? How high will Kyle Pitts go? Tune in next on the PHLY Eagles podcast to find out. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the PHLY Eagles podcast on a Thursday high noon. Bo Wulf, Zach Berman back in the saddle for an exciting edition, a game we haven't played before. We don't know how the strategy is going to work out. I'm excited to get into that, Zach. But first, we got to spend about 48 minutes of the show talking about your thoughts on Jared McCain.
He can shoot. He can shoot, and he can create his own shot, and that's what I like. We'll have ample time to talk about that. Nice haircut, by the way, for the audio listeners. They don't see. Bo's got a fresh look going on right now.
Thank you. Had a good time at Garage Fishtown last night. Yes. Watching the PHLY Sixers crew chop it up. Got some good run out of my Dalton Connect impression. So I felt good.
You have a Dalton Connect impression?
I do. I was grinding the tape.
Okay.
And I came up with a really good Dalton Connect impression. Are you ready? Would you like to hear it or see
Do
it?
I have a choice?
Sure.
Yeah, let's see.
You don't have to.
Let's see.
I'll stand up for it.
Okay.
It goes a little something like this.
You're dangerously close to me.
You see, because he's so old. That's the thing.
Oh, okay, because he's 23.
He's an old man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I did chime in.
No wonder that he fell so far. People were worried that he might not be able to get up.
I chimed in on the chat. First off, great job by our PHLY Sixers crew and everyone behind the scenes. Bree, Julia, great job. I chimed in on the chat when they were saying, what does the league know about Dalton Connect that we don't know? And I chimed in. He's old. Like that's why he's dropping.
Yeah, he's not a good defensive player, right?
Now the thing is this: they once held that against Jalen Brunson. They once held that against Jameer Nelson, right?
Malik Bridges was an old.
Yeah, in basketball, it seems the more exposure they have to you, the less excited they are about you.
Sure.
Where sometimes in the NFL, it's the inverse, right? It's like we don't have enough information on this guy. But in any event, it was a good venue. It seemed like I was watching it. I was watching the draft.
Good job by everybody involved. Shout out to Julia and Bree and Chris behind the scenes as well. All right, the exercise today, Zach. 32 teams, 32 roster spots. We have split this up. 13 players on offense and 13 players on defense. On offense, in addition to your classic 11 personnel, you also have to draft a backup quarterback who is a backup quarterback, and an extra offensive flex spot for a running back, wide receiver, or tight end. On defense, in addition to your normal nickel personnel, we've also got a spot for an extra defensive lineman and then other defensive player, whatever you want there. And then there are 6 other spots: head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, owner, GM, and stadium. And we are going to ping pong back and forth, drafting one of those roster spots from each team in the NFL, just as a nice little exercise. I'm excited about this one.
I am too. When I thought about this, I was excited.
This was your idea.
And then as I was putting my spreadsheet together yesterday afternoon, I was a little worried about it. I wish I could have contacted Professor Selman out in he's overseas right now to try to get. I didn't want to bother him, but I would love to know the proper strategy here for it. It's a fun idea. I imagine I'm going to be panned for my picks no matter what, but that's part of the fun of the show. I don't think we should spend a lot of time like breaking down each pick. Probably for the.
I mean, what else are we going to talk about?
Well, I'm saying we have a lot to get through.
Yeah.
Right. And so,
but I mean,
between the two of us, there's 64 picks.
Yeah.
Right. So right there, if you spend a minute on it, we're already at an hour plus.
Well, who's to say we have to spend a full minute, but not an.
But that's what I mean. Sometimes we can spend 6 minutes, just like this, right?
But you don't. What kind of a tease is that? We're going to do this, but we shouldn't really talk about the picks. Let's just say what we're doing.
I think we should be concise in our like we don't need to spend 5 minutes discussing whether we picked the correct right guard from the Atlanta Falcons, right? So
I see you have Chris Lindstrom high on your board.
you see, I don't want to give too much away. I mean, I'm taking Kyle Pitts first, so
Yeah, that's right. All right, let's do a classic rock paper scissors.
okay.
The winner gets to decide who goes first. We'll do 1, 2, 1, 1, 1 from on there. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. My scissors beats your paper.
You know I go paper. You studied the tape.
I don't know that.
You studied the tape because
I
it's
have
the
not studied the
second
tape.
day in a row you went scissors when I went paper.
What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, you studied the tape on that. I know you're competitive.
What do you mean the second day in a row?
You're a competitive individual. We were just having fun yesterday doing rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Yes. Good job, though. I will know to mix it up.
I actually, I would like. Ooh, this is tough because, the Mahomes of it all.
Exactly.
Obviously, you want the best player at the most important position, but there are some players who I would like in a 2-3 comeback.
Also, the Mahomes of it all. The Chiefs have 3 really high level players.
Sure.
There's some teams where they have a great quarterback, and then there's a drop off for the next best guy.
But you know what? I think I am going to do what I believe to be the appropriate thing for this exercise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the first pick. I'm going to take Patrick Mahomes.
Okay.
I don't want to have to decide who the second best quarterback in the league is necessarily. We know who the best is, and maybe it's just as simple as that. I don't think that it's necessarily the biggest delta between him and other positions or scarcity with some rosters that don't have a lot of likable things. But I feel like 1-1, I gotta just go ahead and take the best guy.
Good work. That's exactly what I would have done if I had the number 1 pick. It's like you don't overthink it. Sometimes in Major League Baseball, you go below slot, so your second and third pick can be higher. But if there's a clear 1-1, you go for the clear 1-1, and here's the clear 1-1. Now, just to tell the audience here, I can wait now for a quarterback. That's the other thing.
Sure.
There's other positions, like for instance, wide receiver, edge rusher, where you can kind of load up. But I can now wait for a quarterback. So if I take my quarterback,
most of the other positions except for like center,
yes,
there are going to be multiple spots up for grabs. So.
Exactly. So that's.
I think you have a nice little advantage here. I'm interested to see how you take advantage. How you use it.
So that's the flexibility that I have here. Then I'm going to take Justin Jefferson here
that would have been my pick.
I have a Delta at Minnesota, and Justin Jefferson's the clear one. My second one for Minnesota was the stadium, and so I didn't want to burn.
I think that this is the right pick.
Okay.
Of all the rosters, it is the only one where there's only one important player at a position of value, and there's not a lot else.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So that is that's the clear way for me to go here, and then. For my next one here, I had a debate about this because I like the defensive coordinator. I like the head coach. There's some other options that I could go with, but I'm going with Myles Garrett from the Cleveland Browns.
Interesting.
And because I think Myles Garrett's the best player at his position in the league. He gives me a clear edge rusher, and I would rather... I was thinking of Jim Schwartz, obviously, at defensive coordinator. I like Andrew Berry a lot at GM. Mm-hmm. He was on my list. But give me the top edge rusher in the NFL, Myles Garrett.
Okay. I think that's a good pick. He would have been, if you're starting a team, who's the first non-quarterback you start with, that's probably the right answer. So I can't begrudge it too much, although there are some other things in Cleveland to like. Mm-hmm. There are 2 other teams to me where there are, like Justin Jefferson, guys standing out as elite, best in the league caliber guys on teams who do not have other stuff. And so I'm going to use my pick here on Tristan Wirfs.
I like
from
that.
Tampa Bay. And that's actually part of what I like here is also I can maybe play him at left or right tackle.
You're allowed to.
But I think he's the best at one of 2 of the best young tackles in the game, and Tampa does not have a lot else that I'm interested in.
Yeah, I had 2 players on my list here from Tampa, so I am totally cool with that. And that that was something that I was considering doing. I got to stay with high level players here. Looking for positions where there is not a big delta, where there is the delta, and I'm going to stay on the defensive side of the ball. And again, I'm playing the board here, and I'm going to go with Sauce Gardner.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. I had 2 players from the Jets that I liked, but I view...
Interesting. I have a few other things from the Jets I like, but okay.
Okay. Yeah, so Sauce Gardner. Now I have a high-level corner and a high-level edge and wide receiver. And, of course, for the audience, I can wait on my quarterback.
Okay. I'm going to take the other... this is where I thought you were going, and it's the same position. And it's the other one that I talked about. It's Wirfs. The three teams I identified where I wanted one of their players was Jefferson, Wirfs, and Patrick Surtain.
I should have done that
because there is nobody else on. I mean, maybe you like Zach Allen. Maybe you want Jared Stidham as your backup.
Yeah, I screwed up there. I should have gone with Surtain. Good move. When I was doing my mock roster, I had Sauce Gardner, but I also had Surtain. Yeah, good.
You did
move.
A mock?
I did a mock. Yeah, I did a mock.
Really?
I did a mock. Yeah, good job.
How did you do the mock?
I just did. Well, I'm going to show you. I did if I had my ideal from each team.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, no, I didn't do a mock like
you didn't
one,
go back and back.
No, no. I did if I could have someone from each team at that spot. And I actually had Surtain. Good move there. Very good move. Yeah, that hurts because Denver was a narrow spot for me here. And my next bet, let me see where I went with Denver here. I'm going to show you Surtain. Then I had stadium ? Ownership ?
Yeah, I mean they got a lot of money.
Yeah, so that's good move. Good move. That's something I wish I could go back and do again. I clearly can't. So then, I'm playing the board, and this is a team that I didn't have a lot for. You know what? I'm not going to do that. Man, you threw me off there.
Okay, settle down. You're still in this. We're only 3 picks in.
No, exactly. You want to know how long it would take to throw me off? My hope was okay. So I'm going to go here with the Tennessee Titans. Is a team that I don't have a lot of options on now. I don't have a lot of options for a few of these teams. The Patriots being one of them, but I don't want to jump to the Patriots. Don't want to jump to the Falcons. Don't want to jump to the Panthers. But you know what? I think that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take Derek Brown from the Carolina Panthers.
Oh no. Oh, we're off the rails already.
Who else do you have from the Panthers? Out of curiosity.
Well, that's fine, but I mean...
No, I'm saying, who else are you going with from the Panthers? It's the same thing as again, I'm not picking the best players.
But I mean, I think I'll be fine if I have Andy Dalton as my backup quarterback. Like, I don't know that I need to force Derek Brown just yet, but that's okay.
Once again, I'm trying to play the board. I'm looking at the things where I can drop off.
Man, the Patrick Surtain one really, really waylaid you.
I thought I was going to get Sauce Gardner and Patrick Surtain. That was my plan, but okay.
Oof. Derek Brown and the reach as we go. I mean,
once again, it's not a
player.
It's not a reach.
That level of player that you need to make sure you get him.
But again, I'm playing the board here. I'm forcing you to go with a bad option in Carolina.
Not really. I mean, Andy Dalton might have been my top choice as the backup quarterback.
Okay,
I'm fine with that. I don't need to worry about anything with the Panthers. All right. I think at this point, I'm going to just go ahead and take a really good player at a really important position. You have Myles Garrett. I'm going to take the guy who sacks the quarterback even more than Myles Garrett. Give me T.J. Watt.
Fair enough. Okay. I like that pick. Could have gone that direction as well, but you know where I'm going.
Instead, you got Derek Brown. So
you know where I'm going with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I do know where you're going with Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And I thought about that.
um, so then, let me strike through here. So is the mistake I'm making playing the board? That's a good question. Because now you're in my head about which way I'm going to go. But you know what? Again, I'm going to play. I'm going to go with a high-level player at a premium position, and give me Penei Sewell, or I'm sorry, Penny Sewell.
That was a good pick.
Yeah.
That was on my radar.
And of course, he is my right tackle, but he's capable of playing left tackle. Is that fair to say?
He hasn't done it in the league.
He hasn't done it, but neither has Tristan Wirfs.
Yes,
last year. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I will go with Sewell, and I'm happy with him as my right tackle.
Are we giving you left tackle flexibility on Sewell?
I'm okay if not, but I would prefer that.
It affects me just a little bit. Okay, I'm just trying. I want to build the best team at this point, and make sure that I get some good players, some of the best players in the league at the premium positions. You know, the classic.
By the way, I just want to say one thing about Derek Brown. This guy's $100 million defensive tackle. Okay.
Yeah, who else are they going to pay?
So you'll get Andy Dalton. Okay, I'm fine with that.
You know what? I think the Eagles question is an interesting one. You know, you could make. I think the players on the team are too good to make the case for Howie Roseman or Jeffrey Lurie. Although you could make that case if you were looking around the league. I think you could make a case for Jalen Carter if you really wanted, but it's probably a two-person decision, I think, between A.J. Brown and Lane Johnson. But there is so much wide receiver depth in the NFL that I'm going to go ahead and take Lane Johnson here as my right tackle. So I've got Lane Johnson and Tristan Wirfs.
Fair enough. So then, you know what? I know there's a lot of edge rush, there's a lot of quality edge rushers, but this is another team where I didn't have a lot of depth, if you will. And when your stadium is high on my list, I don't like going in that direction. So I'm going with Max Crosby. Okay, so now I have Myles Garrett from one edge and Max Crosby from the other edge. And I think that's a really strong edge rush combination. And by the way, I have Derek Brown pushing the middle. So
we're both going to have good defensive tackles.
Yeah,
I feel pretty confident about that. Okay, that's nice for you. It's a cute little backup team you're putting together.
Backup team. Max Crosby's a top 15 player in this league.
I like Max Crosby.
Okay,
I got nothing against Max Crosby.
Who are you going with in Vegas, by the way? I'm curious.
I got plenty of options. You want to talk about a $100 million player? Christian Wilkins made even more than that. They've also got Devontae Adams. They've got a fun stadium. You know, there's lots of things I could do in Las Vegas. You're the one who loves Las Vegas. I'm surprised you didn't take the trip to Las Vegas.
Well, I want the home field advantage, you know? So that's the thing. Vegas doesn't have that home field advantage. It's not just the quality of the stadium. It's the quality of the fan base, the atmosphere, right? I don't want my stadium overtaken by opposing fans every week.
All right, I'm looking at the teams who we have not drafted from yet. And shout out to Jimmy Kempski for putting out his San Francisco 49ers nursery rhyme
story
today. Yeah. That was very fun to read. Some good lines in there. I'm going to go to San Francisco. And this is a little bit of a departure from the way that you and I would generally go about building our teams. You know, I want to focus on the offensive line, the defensive line, the corners. However, I think there is one true, very best linebacker in football.
Wow, okay.
Difference-making linebacker in football. You might like some other linebackers a little bit, but I'm guaranteeing that I have the best defensive player in the middle of the field. I'm taking Fred Warner.
Okay. Solid pick. Now the thing is now I just want to say, because of the way this game has gone, I don't dispute your picks, right? But with Kansas City and San Francisco, where I had a wealth of options there, now you've allowed me to I could go with McCaffrey, I could go with Bosa, I could go with Trent Williams.
That's the choice
right?
that I made.
With Kansas City, I can go with Chris Jones, I can go with Travis Kelce.
You don't have the best player who has
Reed.
ever existed at the most important position in sports.
Sure. You also had the number one pick. So there are certain positions that I know I can wait on based on this. That's part of the strategy involved. And once again, I'm fortunate to have Derek Brown on my roster. Okay.
You sure are. If you want a second to think, Zach, I can take the time here to talk about our friends at Mortgage CS. Because Mortgage CS, we know about how ultra competitive today's real estate market is, just like the ultra competitive draft that we are undertaking at the moment. Prospective home buyers, perhaps just like you, are missing out on opportunities to win the perfect home. But why? It's because you don't have Mortgage CS in your corner. It may be news to you, but the mortgage company you choose matters more than ever. Even if you are already in the market, you can still explore your options with Mortgage CS. This is home financing, not a marriage. Just pretend that your mortgage company is snoring at night. You know what I'm saying? You might be shocked at how much money you can save with Mortgage CS. The real estate market is competitive, so you can rely on Mortgage CS to help you understand where you can be flexible in your offer to buy a home without taking on unnecessary risks. In the end, you will be so happy you texted Ben, the CEO of Mortgage CS, at 267-391-7425. There's a reason people win more with Mortgage CS, so call or text Ben now at 267-391-7425 and see it for yourself. You can also go to www.mortgagecs.com/PHLY to check them out or view their over 370 perfect 5-star reviews by searching Mortgage CS right now. Tell them PHLY sent you. The advertisement is not a commitment to lend or extend credit. Mortgage CS is an equal housing opportunity mortgage broker. All loans are subject to credit approval. Certain restrictions may apply. Company NMLS ID 1464766. Visit mortgagecs.com for more information. Yeah.
So should I go on this day?
I was reading Fridays.
Yeah,
This is your last day of the week.
Yeah.
So in my mind,
no problem.
Friday,
No problem.
So I did Friday's read instead of Thursday's
No
read.
problem. So I will. So we have great sponsors that we will tell you about tomorrow. Bo will be happy to tell you about them. But we have great sponsors that I want to tell you about today, and that includes Miller Lite. Okay, because Miller Lite. Look, if you want to watch the second round of the NBA draft tonight, if you're hanging out with your buddies, if you went last night to the live show, if you're going to the Flyers live show this weekend, you look back at this weekend and you'll think about not just the drafts that you watched, but the drafts that you drank and who you drank them with. A lot's changed over the years. One thing that hasn't is the great taste of Miller Lite. Another thing that hasn't is that it's less filling. So what is the best thing about the original light beer? Miller Lite has sparked that debate in 1975 and still hasn't settled it. A Miller Lite keeps it simple, undebatable quality, great taste, only 96 calories. It's the beer that strips away everything you don't need and holds on to what matters most. A light beer that tastes like beer, less filling, and only 96 calories. The original light beer since 1975. You don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/PHLYBirds, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. Fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer. So you know what? I actually don't think I made a big mistake with the Derek Brown thing for the Delta, but I do think, as I was thinking when you're doing your read, don't overthink it, Zach, right? Take good players, take high quality players, and let the board fall where it may thereafter, right? If you have to end up to your point, if you have to end up with a backup quarterback from somewhere, I'd rather high quality players. So this is one of the best teams in the NFL, and there's a wealth of options there, but give me Jamar Chase. Give me Jamar Chase because now I have Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase at wide receiver. There were a few other options I was thinking with the Bengals, but I feel very comfortable going with Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase.
Okay, I think that's reasonable. That would have been on the short list for one of my next picks. And because of that, I'm going to make sure that I get a wide receiver who, I'm not endorsing the person, but you can still add a wide receiver. So I'm going to stop you from adding Tyreek Hill, and I will add the most dynamic weapon in the league, a guy who has proven that he and Patrick Mahomes work pretty well together.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's definitely a good pick, and that's certainly something I had pretty high. But you know what? I do like my other possibilities there. So once again, I don't want to force the Patriots, even though I have nothing going on with the Patriots. I might stick to just the same high quality conversation that we had. And there's a handful of different directions here. And that's I already have 2 edge rushers. But you can get 3 edge rushers, right?
You can.
You can get that rotation. And I'm going to need some offensive line help at some point there. This is not an easy game. Play. I can obviously wait.
When you take Derek Brown.
Well, I can wait on, but my point is there are certain positions where I can definitely wait on the guy. You know what? I have two players from the Titans that I like. I see that look that you're making. So the positions that are or the teams where we both can take someone. It's the Giants, the Cowboys, Washington, Green Bay, Chicago, Arizona, Los Angeles Rams, Seattle Seahawks, New Orleans Saints, Atlanta Falcons, Buffalo Bills, New England Patriots, Baltimore Ravens, the Tennessee Titans, Jacksonville Jaguars, Indianapolis Colts, Los Angeles Chargers, Denver I'm sorry, not Denver. Yeah, so just those teams. So really,
would you like me to give it to you alphabetically?
I was going by division.
Okay.
Okay.
Arizona, Atlanta, Baltimore, Buffalo, Chicago, Dallas, Green Bay, Houston, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, the Chargers, the Rams, the Patriots, the Saints, the Giants, the Seahawks, Tennessee, and Washington.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you playing at home, this is a fun, get your wife, you two. This is a good way to spend the weekend. Just the two of you hashing this out. See who can go farther without drafting Derek Brown.
Come on. Wasn't that egregious of a pick? I boxed you into Andy Dalton as your backup quarterback.
Great.
Okay. Derek Brown's a $100 million
I'll take the
player.
stadium. Who cares?
You know what? Who
I
cares?
will not take the owner, though. That I will not do.
The stadium matters, right? The stadium matters.
Yeah. If my team's going 17-0, Molly womping your team every day.
I'm gonna go. Jari Alexander from the Green Bay Packers.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
He doesn't play for the Titans, I believe, but
No, I'm not going with the Titans. I'm going with the Packers here. I know you like the coach, and
there's a lot to like.
I know the stadium there, but he's the best player on that team. I have 2 really good corners now, and I could add a third, and he's also capable of playing the slot. Correct?
Sure. Yeah, that's nice for you. All right. I am on the fence here about what are my wide receivers going to look like if I don't do that? I think I'll be fine. I'm going to go ahead. This is an overthink, and it's probably giving you the wide receiver, but don't overthink it. Take the other best defensive player in football. I'm taking Micah Parsons.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I am going to continue on. I'm going to continue to have a great. Let's see. You know what's interesting? Bo and I were talking about this before. There's like the New York Giants. They have good players at good positions, and so there's a defensive tackle, obviously, who I like with the Giants. There's a left tackle who I like with the Giants. So those are 2 spots that I can look. But I'm going to make sure that I get the defensive tackle. He's a premium player. We're going to go Dexter Lawrence.
Okay.
Okay.
Pick.
And so now I just want to say, because of my Derek Brown pick.
Yeah, you just got a better defensive tackle than the other one you took.
Yeah, but once again, Bo, you're not explaining the conceit of the game correctly. You're not picking based on value entirely. You're picking based on the delta
explaining the
at
game
the position.
fine. Yeah.
At the delta at the position.
That was a bad decision to go for that delta.
Okay. I have Myles Garrett, Derek Brown, Dexter Lawrence, and Max Crosby.
Yeah, we're both going to have good teams. Your team's just going to be not as good. All right, let's run this down real quickly. I have Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Tristan Wirfs, Lane Johnson, T.J. Watt, Micah Parsons, Fred Warner, and Pat Surtain. You have Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Penei Sewell, Myles Garrett, Derek Brown, Dexter Lawrence, Max Crosby, Sauce Gardner, and Jair Alexander. The teams who we have not plucked from yet: Arizona, Atlanta, Baltimore, Buffalo, Chicago, Houston, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, the Chargers, the Rams, New England, New Orleans, Seattle, Tennessee, and Washington. Some good spots there. Some good spots there. Could do that. Could do that. Interesting. Interesting. There's a lot of good tackles left, so you will be okay at tackle, which is good for you. But I want to take a good player. Although I'm going to do something a little bit unexpected here, and it's actually a player who you already teased earlier, and that is the great, the Pro Bowler, the unpenetrable Chris Lindstrom as my right guard of the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay. That's a great stadium. I just want to say that. I love going to that stadium.
You don't want that tight end?
We will see. Actually, on my mock roster, I had Chris Lindstrom there, so that's a good pick on your part. I also had Micah Parsons, so that was another good pick on your part. So again, we're going with the competitive positions here. So it's not just.
I'm curious how much you think head coach matters in all of this.
Well, I'm getting Mike Tomlin.
Okay.
Right? I mean, I don't have to. There's other guys I could get. There's
Minka Fitzpatrick, but yeah, if you want Mike Tomlin, he's all yours.
I could have Andy Reid.
You could, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but there's other guys I could go with there. So this is a team that there's so many options here. Okay, because if you're looking for high quality linebacker, if you're looking for high quality center, he's on this team here. But there's also a standout safety. You know what? I can wait there. I keep looking at the Titans. The thing is, I already took a D tackle and a cornerback.
Snead can play inside if you wanted to. But
what's that?
Snead could play inside if you wanted to.
Yeah. So then, you know what I'm going to do here? I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Quentin Nelson from the Indianapolis Colts. Okay. I don't love the Colts options. Quentin Nelson's a high-level guard. He's not coming off his best season. I had a guard and a center as my possibilities there, but
he's as washed gets, but it'll be a nice little wave to the crowd that he's given on the sideline.
Did Claire call me going with Quentin Nelson? Okay. Claire said called it.
I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
By the way, I just want to say I have Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. How about that? Man.
Wow. Fascinating. All right.
You went Tyreek Hill. I'm surprised you didn't pick Nick Bosa.
What does that mean?
You could go with all your favorite guys in the league.
I mean, slightly different things, but okay. All right. Well, geez, Tennessee's just sitting there staring at all of us. Let's see. Washington, not a lot to like. Certainly not the stadium. Tennessee, Seattle, New Orleans, some interesting ones in New Orleans. New England, some interesting things in New England.
There are.
There are a couple semi-interesting things in New England. Well, yeah, it was so classy the way that he showed up for Brady's roast that it really made an impact on me. And then are there? Now, see but you still have one defensive line spot left, so I can't just box you out there entirely. All right, I'm gonna actually do something unexpected again. And it's gonna let you. Do I want that actually? I don't know that I necessarily need that. I think that's fine. I'm going to take the safety who you talked about. I'm going to go to Buffalo, and I'm in Baltimore, and I'm going to take Kyle Hamilton.
I like that. Okay.
And so I feel pretty good about that.
Okay. So I should have done this earlier, but now I can kind of think about who I'm going to get at some of these spots here. So you're looking at Washington, Tennessee, Arizona, Seattle, New Orleans, New England as some of the competitive positions. When I look at the Commanders, man, I mean they are pretty light across the board here. But I have a flex spot on defense. Do I want to keep loading up on defensive tackles? You know, I definitely don't like the coaching staff there. Definitely don't like the. Then you have Arizona, which I like the stadium. I love Marvin Harrison Jr. But you know what I think I'm going to do? Got Seattle, got New Orleans. So you know what I'm going to do with the Saints? And this guy might be washed, but he is my top player here. He's an underrated player in the league. It's a position where I'm going to need two guys. I'm going to go with Demario Davis.
Okay. Yeah, that's reasonable. Not a great roster.
Yeah, not a great roster, not a great coaching staff, right? You can end up. It's a cool stadium.
There's a couple interesting players on the roster actually, but
Okay.
Demario Davis. There's not a ton of difference making linebackers.
Sure.
I assume you're going to get Roquan Smith,
Mm-hmm.
so that's not that bad. All right. These teams that are left: Washington, your boy Tennessee,
My boy Tennessee.
Seattle, New England, LA. Jacksonville, Houston. Now you're going to get Chicago, Buffalo. I'm curious to see who you're going to take as your quarterback as you make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Josh Allen.
Okay.
The Jacksonville
That's
Josh
a good one.
Allen, who of course had
He was high on my
17
list.
and a half sacks last season.
Yep.
And a player who can play in space. I'm happy about that.
That's a good pick. Yeah, he's someone who I liked quite a bit. So you know what? I'm gonna take the Titans plunge at this point, and I'm gonna go with L'Jarius Sneed.
Okay.
As my nickel. And so now my corners are Sauce Gardner, L'Jarius Sneed, and Jerry Alexander.
It's not Jerry.
Jari Alexander.
Jair.
I apologize.
That's okay. What was the pronunciation thing we had yesterday?
Oh, you were right. So you did want to bring it up on the show. Yes.
Well,
I came into the studio and I said to Bo, Bo, you are correct. There, it is not machinations, it's machinations. Bo was correct there, and I sit corrected here.
You sit corrected. Nice. All right. Yeah. I mean, I do want to fill. There are some obvious ones where I'm going to fill in from the teams you have taken so far. It's going to be interesting to see who we end up with as our coordinators.
Yes.
So fascinating.
This is a fun show.
Yeah, it's fun.
This is a fun show. And for those playing at home, I'm curious which picks besides Derek Brown you pan and which picks you celebrate.
All right. Let's say no, because I'm going to get him anyway. Okay. I am going to take, I know you can still take you could still take a corner if you use your flex. You probably won't, but that's okay. I'm going to use my Chicago pick, and I'm going to take Jalen Johnson.
Good one. That was my top option there. So I'm going to go with my Texans pick here. And I'm going to go with Laramie Tunsil.
Okay.
Gives me a high-quality left tackle.
Sure does. And a good bong smoker.
If you say so. Is that what he was doing with the mask? Is that...
Yeah, no, he was ordering insomnia cookies.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame him if that were the case.
All right, let me tell you, Zach. I guess we're gonna continue on the Friday reads, right?
Yep.
Otherwise, it'll be thrown off. So let me tell you about Rite Aid's pharmacy services, and we've been talking about it all week. If you join up for the My Pharmacy account on Rite Aid, you're going to get a whole bunch of goodies. You're going to get to refill your prescriptions, schedule a vaccine, get personalized care recommendations, sign up for prescription notifications. All you need to get started is a prescription at Rite Aid, and you can get started at riteaid.com/mypharmacy. Stop stressing about your prescriptions. Let Rite Aid refill them automatically. Enroll in automated courtesy refills. It's free, easy, and most prescriptions qualify. Talk with your Rite Aid pharmacist or sign up through your My Pharmacy account at riteaid.com. Restrictions may apply. You can also manage your prescriptions on the Rite Aid mobile app. Transfer or refill your prescriptions, set up medication reminders, enroll in prescription notifications, which you can download from the Apple App Store or Google Play. And you can even sync with your family members to make sure that you can get all your prescriptions at once in one trip. Really makes your life a whole lot easier. Transfer your prescriptions to Rite Aid today. Just go to riteaid.com/transfer. Rite Aid caring pharmacists ready to answer your questions and help you stay healthy. Get your prescriptions along with anything at Rite Aid you may need, including over-the-counter medicines, household products, cosmetics, and more. Just ask your pharmacy team for details. Restrictions apply.
Let me tell all of you about what you might be doing on July 13th. Because if your day is free on July 13th, make sure you go to Valley Brook Country Club in Blackwood, New Jersey for the PHLY First Annual Liberty Open. It's a scramble format. You can sign up as a single, foursome, or you can sponsor a hole. 18 holes with a cart, tournament gifts and tee prizes, a taste of Philly dinner, and post-round ceremony at the Pavilion. Unlimited draft beer for 2 hours post-round, contest and team prizes on the course. This is one of the many great events that we have here at PHLY. We talked about the Sixers draft last night. There's a big Flyers NHL draft coming up on Friday. We have a party at Chickies and Pete's with Broad Street Hockey. It's the PHLY Flyers crew and Broad Street Hockey breaking down the entire NHL draft and see where the Flyers end up. It's a completely free event. Check out allphly.com for more details and the RSVP link. And if you go to PHLY and you become a diehard member, you're going to see premium written content. We have great draft stuff up right now. We're going to have more Eagles stuff coming in these next 3 weeks. You get 20% off events. You get merchandise for all teams, a free shirt when you become a member, and the members-only Discord, where I imagine if I pull it up after the show, they'll be talking about my riveting Derek Brown pick. This is all part of the perks of being a PHLY diehard member, so make sure you join the best fans in the city by heading over to allphly.com.
All right. Few teams left who we have not taken from. Arizona. Not a lot to like. Although I know you love Mike Tomlin, but I'm sure you're curious about the head coach there. Buffalo. Boy, this exercise was illuminating in how weak that roster is, aside from the quarterback, if you're not taking the quarterback.
In Buffalo?
Yes. You disagree?
The head coach is really good, but yeah. And the GM's really good as well.
Head coach is fine.
And the GM's really good as well.
Okay. Yeah. The Chargers. The Rams. The Patriots. The Seahawks. And the Commandos. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take Puka Nacua. I know you can.
Interesting. Okay.
You could take a wide receiver. So I'm going to go ahead and take Puka Nacua. And I don't know who you're going to take since you have Tomlin slotted for your head coach.
Not necessarily. So that, and also I think the world of Les Snead as a GM. Well, not the world. Yeah. I think highly of Les Snead as a GM. And have I told you about the joys of SoFi Stadium?
No, that's true. I forgot about how much you love SoFi Stadium. That's a big one. Oh, man, I just gifted you your favorite thing in the world.
But I would be hypocritical as well because I did mention the home field advantage, and you're not getting a great home field advantage there, are you? So let's see here. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go to the. And look, I love the head coach with the Chargers. I get that. But I'm gonna make sure that I'm in a good position at safety. I really like this player, Derwin James. Give me Derwin James.
Okay, that's a good one. One of the better players available on a team that we have not picked from. I think that's a reasonable pick. Let me just write it in here. That's your first safety, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I mean, I could do that. That's not exciting. That's very not exciting. Woof. It's pretty ugly out there at this point. I'm going to go ahead, I think, and take DK Metcalf.
From Seattle. Okay.
Yes, that one.
That one. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, not a lot to love there.
So now we only have 4 teams: Washington, Arizona, New England, and Buffalo. Correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to take my Washington plunge here and just I'm going to go Jonathan Allen as my extra defensive lineman. I know I have 2 defensive tackles, but I think Jonathan Allen's the best player on the Commanders. And yeah, I feel good about the Jonathan Allen
arguably
situation.
Not better than Daron Payne, but that's okay.
Okay, but that's fair. But
okay,
either one.
All right, so New England. I could make the Mike Onwenu move. He's a stud, but I don't need to do that just yet. Buffalo and Arizona, yikes. Oof. This is ugly. Let's see. Is there a? Okay, I can. That's not bad. Oh, please. You're the one who's been hemming and hawing ever since the Derek Brown disaster of June 27th.
Disaster. Come on.
Okay. Oh man, would I really do that? I think I might actually do that.
Do what? Go Gannon?
No, I think I'm going to go Bean.
Oh, okay, that's a good pick. I
don't
like
know
Brandon
that
Bean.
it's a good pick, but I think I'm going to go Brandon Bean.
I do like Brandon Bean.
Well, the thing about Brandon Bean is there was that 2-year period where every single one of their wide receivers and running backs had been acquired by him over the course of 2 years.
You love a bit. Yes.
Gabe Davis, Stephon Diggs, all those guys acquired over the course of just 2 off seasons.
Look, I'm going to talk out loud here. In Arizona, there's 2 guys that I liked, Trey McBride and Budda Baker, and Marvin Harrison Jr. Of course.
I thought about Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
I thought you might actually like Nick Rallis. I'm serious.
I like Nick personally, but I'm gonna go Budda Baker. I know he's not coming off a great season, but I don't think safety's particularly. Well, actually, can I take that back? Did I?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
no, it's not touch move.
Okay. So then I think what I will do then is I'm not gonna go with Arizona. New England's available here. I'm going to go David Andrews as my center. No, I'm kidding. So Mike Onwenu, I can play him in multiple spots.
Yeah.
I'm thinking out loud here.
Mike Onwenu, we hold you in our heart.
I had a New England pegged for my backup quarterback. That was the spot I was going to go because I do like a Jacoby Brissett.
Sure.
Arizona. So really, I'm choosing between Arizona and New England. Those are the 2 teams left. Yeah. Can I play Onwenu at right guard?
Sure.
Yeah. Give me Mike Onwenu at right guard.
Onwenu.
Sorry. Gosh. I'm going to be up at night thinking about him. Matt H is correct.
I'm sure the feeling is mutual.
Matt H says in the chat, ZB is going to name every guy and see Bo's reaction. And when he looks upset, he's going to keep that one.
All right. I'm taking Trey McBride as my tight end.
Fair enough.
That is how that is going. All right.
Okay.
And so now this is actually still a little bit delicate. You got to figure out exactly how you're going to go
Sure.
about filling out your roster from the.
And we don't need to go back and forth here. We can. I mean, we still can. But yeah.
If you would like to just go ahead and do it, you can go ahead and do it, and then I'll do mine.
No. We'll do it back and forth here.
Okay, I thought you just said you didn't want to do it.
No, I'm saying we don't have we're not competitive against each other. At
Yes,
this point.
yes.
We're just trying to build the best roster at this point.
Yes.
And so I will go first here. I'm going Josh Allen at quarterback for the Buffalo Bills.
You are taking Josh Allen.
Yes.
You believe is this because of the circumstance? Like, would you consider Joe Burrow over him, or is it just you think that he is the second best quarterback in football?
Well, I have Jamar Chase, so I can't go anymore with the Bengals. But
that's why I'm asking.
I was considering at this point. I was considering Lamar Jackson, who I love, MVP last year, 2-time MVP in the league. But there's so many options. So this is the circumstance. Again, with Buffalo, I'd be down to either Sean McDermott or Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen's a top 5 quarterback in this league. So I feel comfortable about Josh Allen.
Okay. I'm going to take Andy Dalton as my backup quarterback, Zach.
Okay, you're stuck with Andy Dalton. Okay.
I'm thrilled. He was the top backup quarterback on my board.
Was he really?
I don't know.
Okay.
He was one of like four things I put on here as possible.
All right. I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey at running back. Best running back in the league.
Okay. I'm just double checking that that's what I want. I'm taking Devontae Adams as my last wide receiver. Thrilled about that.
Okay. I am taking Antoine Winfield Jr. as my safety. That's who. That was my other option with Tampa Bay.
Okay.
So I feel comfortable with that one.
I'm taking your boy Jeffrey Simmons at defensive tackle.
That is a good pick here. So I have the Bears are a bit of a challenge for me, as you can imagine. My second Bears option was Tremaine Edmonds, who
really over T.J. Edwards.
Who a
little surprised.
I don't feel great about that. I really don't like the overall thing with the Bears, except you know what? Who I'm going to go with the Bears for my extra edge rusher spot or extra receiver spot. DJ Moore or Montez Sweat. Which one do I go with? If you can give me 1 second, let me just look at my roster possibilities here. And I will very clearly go with I'm going to go with the edge here. I'm going to go with Montez Sweat.
Okay.
Coming off double-digit sack season. Yeah.
Okay.
So now my defense, it's not, I have one spot left on defense, and that's the linebacker.
Okay. I'm thrilled to have Quinnen Williams as my defensive tackle from the Jets.
Let's go on. And so I'm in a spot now where
I may have missed one of yours in your roster here, but you can read us your roster when you're done.
Sure.
What do you still have left?
I have QB2.
Yeah.
Wide receiver 3, tight end, center, flex offense, linebacker, then head coach, OC, DC, stadium owner, and GM.
Who's your left tackle?
Laramie Tunsil.
Oh, that's right.
Not great center options. Center is a weak spot in the NFL, and Detroit. I went with Sewell, but that could have been a good spot for a center as well. That was also why I talked about Andrews. And then, I mean, Linderboom is an option, but I can go Roquan Smith at linebacker. Those are really what I'm down to there. let me see one thing here, because the Surtain pick was really good. It left at, let's see, Broncos linebackers. What do we think about the Broncos linebackers? Not particularly good.
It was Alex Singleton, your boy.
Yeah, I don't know if he's my boy, but I do like Alex Singleton. And then, man, you know what? I might end up with the Broncos Stadium. Great place, great place to watch a game. Shout out to all our people out in Denver.
Are you actually making
No,
that?
no, I'm not making that pick. I'm not making. I'm saving Denver. Let's see here. I have Arizona. Because I went Winfield, I can't go Buda Baker there. Dallas. I am sorry. This is not great podcasting. But I am going to go with. I'm not going to overthink this. I'm going Travis Kelce at tight end.
Okay.
Best tight end in the league.
And you're full up on defensive tackles. Well, I guess you could use your flex on Chris Jones if you wanted, but
no, I can't use my flex on Chris Jones. I'm
who
filled
is
up
your
with is Jonathan Allen. My other option with Kansas City was Andy Reid.
Okay.
I could have gone Andy Reid. I
Again,
could have gone Spags, but
Bill, do we have
I'm
an
happy
outline,
going
or
Travis
are you guys
Kelce.
just going to ask me questions?
Okay, I already told you about Quinn
Okay.
Williams. I'm going to go ahead and take. This is a very exciting one. My defensive coordinator, the captain, Lou Anarumo.
Okay.
Hey!
I
Okay.
mean, I tried to have it like pointing out towards the background scenery.
I also could have gone with Creed
but
Humphrey.
then
Would have
you
been
can't see
another
the
option.
Yeah, so
Uh,
I just
All right, I'm gonna tell you my team,
all you
guys.
can
Yeah.
see is a
I
stupid
have
result picture.
a Patrick Mahomes, Andy
And a
Dalton,
lamp.
Tyreek Hill, Puka Nacua, DK Metcalf,
do.
Trey McBride, Tristan Wirfs, Chris Lindstrom, Lane Johnson,
Very,
Devontae Adams,
very true.
TJ Watt, Quinnen Williams, Jeffrey Simmons, Micah Parsons, Josh Allen, Fred Warner,
Nope, not
Pat
a single
Surtain, Kyle
thing.
Hamilton, Jalen Johnson, Lou Anarumo, and Brandon Bean. I've got a linebacker spot to fill, 2 spots in the secondary to fill, left guard and center to fill, although I have a couple bookmarked there, running back, stadium, and owner. The one thing I'm worried about is getting stuck with a bad owner. I don't want to get stuck with a bad owner.
Yeah.
That could really sour the whole punch bowl.
Yeah, that could be the case for you. And I'm sorry that I don't have. So I'm choosing between Tyler Boom and Roquan Smith. Okay, I'm sorry, Linden Boom.
Linderbaum.
Linden. I'm focused on my roster and not. So let me ask the chat. What do you think I should do? Do you think I should go with Tyler Linden?
I wish I hadn't made the Brandon Bean pick. That was so stupid.
Why is
okay.
that?
Well, I was just, there are some other teams where I'm like, would it have been the worst thing in the world if I had Adam Peters running this
True.
loaded roster?
True. So I will go with. There's not a lot of great centers in the league. I'm gonna go with Tyler Lindenbaum instead of Roquan Smith. But he's a high quality center, and so now my offensive line is Laramie Tunsil, Quentin Nelson, Tyler Lindenbaum, Mike Onwenu, and Penny Sewell.
Okay.
Mhm.
I do need a linebacker,
Mhm.
and there are not a lot of good linebackers available to me. And because of that, I'm gonna do your Philly boy. And my Indianapolis leftover is going to be our friend Zaire Franklin, who spent some time with us at the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Our dear friend.
I certainly like that. So at my last linebacker spot, I'm gonna go with, I like Ivy Leaguers. This guy's a good player. Foye Oluokun.
He's not that good of a player.
Okay, so I will not
Okay.
go with Foye Oluokun. I'm looking at this chart here. He's ranked as the 10th best linebacker in the league.
What is that? FoyeLuacon.com?
I could go Patrick Queen with the Steelers. You know what? So here's
My
the
problem
thing.
is the Packers have so many things that I want.
Yeah.
That's a tough one for me.
You know what? Actually, now that you say it, I'm going to save the Jags for my head coach. And I'm going to go with Patrick Queen as my linebacker coming off a Pro Bowl season.
I'm excited to announce that my owner is Ziggy Wilf.
I like Ziggy Wolf. Nice guy.
You know what? There are worse owners.
Yeah.
And there's nothing else on that Vikings team that I want.
Okay.
And I need to make sure I don't get stuck with
Josh Harris.
Yes.
I actually had Josh Harris written for.
Of course you did.
Yeah, for them. And so.
Well, really, this is now the grind.
This is this is the grind here. The spots that I have left are QB2, wide receiver, flex on offense, head coach, OC, DC, stadium, owner, and GM. Okay. So my head coach is I'm gonna go with Doug Peterson as my head coach. Super Bowl winning coach.
Okay. That's nice for you.
Mm-hmm. And I used Patrick Queen. There's a Delta in Jacksonville, so I'm going with Doug Peterson.
Do you think that? Okay. Well, I need running back, left guard, center, nickel, safety, defensive flex, and stadium. And Cleveland, I could take Nick Chubb. I could take Joel Bitonio. I could take Michael Dunn. I could take Denzel.
You could take Michael Dunn. I like that.
I could take Denzel Ward.
I like that.
Some good options. Detroit, some good options. I could take Frank Ragnow as my center. I could take Aiden Hutchinson as my flex. I could take Ben Johnson as my offensive coordinator. Green Bay, a ton of options. Elton Jenkins, Kenny Clark, Rashawn Gary, Xavier McKinney, Lambeau Field. Houston, not a lot of choices. And that's why I'm going to name my head coach as DeMeco Ryans.
I like that.
And we're going to be looking good. You know that.
I like that. So I'm just looking here. I've used the entire AFC West. I've used. I'm trying to say. I have the Eagles. I have the Dolphins. But I don't have my defensive flex. That's not a great situation here, because I had Jalen Ramsey for the Dolphins as an option. You know what I am going to do here? I still have a wide receiver and a flex skill remaining. And so I'm going to go with Jalen Waddle at wide receiver.
Okay. Who's your other wide receiver?
Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase, 3 wide receivers.
Oh, you have the flex. You haven't used the flex yet.
Yeah, I have 3 receivers on here, then the flex skill.
Right. I'm asking, have you used?
I haven't
used the flex yet.
I haven't used flex. Nope.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make Brian Burns my defensive flex for the Giants, because I don't want that stadium, and nobody in their secondary is worthwhile.
Okay. I'm going to go with CD. I'm going to go with CD Lamb as my flex wide receiver.
Yeah.
As my flex skill.
He should have been on your team a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Well, I could have waited.
It is the only place on these rosters where I believe your roster is better than mine, but that's okay, because
that's not true at all. Better. My edge rushers are better than yours, but okay.
That's extremely debatable. How are your edge rushers better than mine?
How are my edge rushers better than yours?
Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, Montez Sweat.
Yes.
Is better than T.J. Watt, Micah Parsons, Josh Allen, Brian Burns.
Well, I'm looking at the top 3. Yeah, my top 3 is better.
It is absolutely not.
Yes, it is.
You have arguably the best one. Montez Sweat is easily the worst of that entire group.
Okay. Reasonable minds are allowed to disagree.
Sound off in the chat. The guy is delusional. That's insane.
Reasonable minds can disagree.
Don't be unreasonable. All right. Do you want to just work it out, fill out yours, and I'll fill out mine?
Sure.
Let's
Can you
see
just
what's
tell?
left here.
I'm sorry. The teams I have left are Philly, Seattle, Rams.
I don't know who you.
Okay.
I'm not keeping track of who you
Gotcha.
still have left.
Okay.
You haven't used Philly yet.
Yeah, I know.
So interesting.
I think that's gonna be Lurie.
Oh, of course it is. Do you have your coaches yet? I mean, you're taking Tomlin, right?
No. I've Doug Peterson
that's
as
right, you have Doug Peterson.
I've Doug Peterson as my coach.
Do you have your coordinators?
I don't have coordinators yet.
Okay. So you need your backup quarterback.
Yes.
You need your center.
No, I have my center.
Oh, who's your center?
I have Linderbaum.
Oh, that's right.
What's so funny?
You need your linebacker, your safety, your coordinators.
No, I have my safeties as well. I'm sorry.
Who's your second safety?
Derwin James and Antoine Winfield.
Antoine Winfield Jr. That's right.
Yep.
Okay. What else do you need?
I need.
This is really
great podcasting.
Tough listening at this point.
Yeah.
But.
I need backup quarterback. I need OCDC, stadium owner, and GM.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's your other linebacker? Demario Davis
and Patrick Queen.
Okay.
So my owner, I'm going with Jeffrey Lurie as my owner. Shout out to Jeffrey.
Wow. I mean, even Jeffrey, I don't think would have taken himself as the number 2 pick from the Eagles.
Or should I go Howie at GM?
Who do you want to be obsequious to?
I wouldn't call it obsequious to anybody. You know what? Actually, I'm going to switch that around. Okay. I'm going to go with Howie Roseman at GM. And I am going to go with Stan Kroenke as the owner.
Oh, gross.
Stan Kroenke has championship teams at
great. Great.
He invests in his teams. He lets them play.
Okay.
So now I am down to Philly, or I'm down to Seattle. Sorry about this.
All right. I'll try to talk mine out while you figure yours out. Okay. I have running back, left guard, center, nickel, safety, and stadium left. And my 6 teams are New England, New Orleans, the Giants, the Commanders, the Lions, the Packers, and the Browns. The secondary is the one spot where I'm not feeling super great. The safety spot. Now, there are so many things I like in Green Bay, but I may end up taking Xavier McKinney as my safety. And do we think that Marshawn Lattimore can play inside? Can Pat Surtain play inside? Is that fair to you?
Sure. Yeah, I'm not gonna fight you on this stuff here.
And I could go Denzel Ward. You know what I'm going to do, because I want Eric McCoy as my center. So I'm going to go Eric McCoy from New Orleans as my center. Denzel Ward is going to be my corner, or is going to be penciled in as the nickel with Surtain and Jalen Johnson. That leaves now. See, here's the problem: is Washington. I can't end up with that stadium. Who's on the Washington roster?
Well, you can go Payne.
Am I going to take Jeremy Chin? Am I going to take?
Go with your boy Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh man, Washington. See, this is why I shouldn't have taken Brandon Beane. I should have just taken Adam Peters. I think the best thing for me to do with Washington.
This is going to be great for the audio listeners.
I think the best thing for me to do with Washington is
Joy is shaking her head over there.
This is insane, but I think the best thing for me to do with Washington is Austin Eckler as my running back.
Interesting. Okay.
That's where it's going to hurt me the least. So then you've got Detroit, and I would like to take Ben Johnson. So I'm going to do Ben Johnson as my offensive coordinator. That leaves left guard and safety and stadium for Green Bay, New England, and the Giants. Now, obviously, I would like Lambeau Field. That would be the top of my list.
Mm-hmm.
But Elton Jenkins is too good for me to pass up. So I'm going to take Elton Jenkins. That means that my safety has to come from the Giants or the Patriots. So I'm going to have to go ahead and take Kyle Duggar. And that means I'm playing my games at MetLife Stadium. Which I do not want to do, but at least it's...
So thank you for talking there, because that allowed me to kind of sort out my list here. I have backup QB, OC, DC, and Stadium, and I have Seattle, Arizona, Atlanta, and Denver available to me. Okay? I like all the stadiums here. So the question is, where do you go? I like Ryan Grubb as a possibility. Atlanta. So I don't like Denver's coordinators very much. And do I go with Stidham as the backup quarterback? I think I'm making Denver my stadium. Okay. A day at Denver. It's a loud venue. Okay. So then when I look at Arizona, they had, and then Atlanta. Do I go with Zach Robinson, who's unproven?
I feel like this is pretty easy for you. I think you go Grubb at offensive coordinator, you go Rallis at DC, and you take Michael Penix Jr. as your backup quarterback.
I was considering that, but Rallis's 1 year was the 32nd ranked defense in the league, and I don't want to go with Lake. So then, you know what I will do here is I will go with Grubb as my OC.
Okay.
I don't want to go with Jimmy Lake. So then, I'll go with Michael Penix Jr.
and Nick Rallis.
All
right. Now, we will put this up as a graphic, the full teams, but let's read it off one more time here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Quarterback, Patrick Mahomes for me, Josh Allen for you. Backup quarterback, Andy Dalton for me, Michael Penix Jr. for you. Running back, Austin Eckler for me, Christian McCaffrey for you. That's a clear advantage for me. Wide receivers, Tyreek Hill, Puka Nacua, DK Metcalf, and Devontae Adams versus Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, and CeeDee Lamb. Tight end, you've got Travis Kelce, I've got Trey McBride. I think it is fair for me to say that your weapons are on the whole a little bit better than mine, although mine are still pretty good. I've obviously got a better quarterback. My offensive line, I do believe, is better than yours. Tristan Wirfs, Lane Johnson, Elton Jenkins, Eric McCoy, and Chris Lindstrom. You've got Laramie Tunsil, Panay Sewell, Quentin Nelson, Tyler Linderbaum, and Mike Onwenu. On defense, the far superior edge group of TJ Watt, Micah Parsons, Josh Allen, and Brian Burns against your Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, and Montez Sweat. Inside, you've got Derek Brown, Dexter Lawrence, and Jonathan Allen. I've got Quinnen Williams and Jeffrey Simmons. At linebacker, I've got Fred Warner and Zaire Alexander. You've got Demario Davis and Patrick Queen. In the secondary, I've got Pat Surtain, Denzel Ward, Kyle Hamilton, Kyle Duggar, and Jalen Johnson. You've got Sauce Gardner, L'Jarius Sneed, Derwin James, Antoine Winfield Jr., and Jair Alexander. My coaching staff, far superior to yours. D'Amico Ryans, Ben Johnson, Lou Anarumo against Doug Peterson, Brian Grubb, and Nick Rallis. For some reason, we're playing our games at MetLife Stadium. You're playing in Denver.
I'm actually going to switch my owner GM.
No, it's too late. Because then I would switch Brandon Bean. It's too late now.
No, I originally picked. Okay, that's fine.
You're going to do Les Snead?
I'm going to do Les Snead
and
GM.
Jeffrey. That's a better
Jeffrey
combination,
yeah,
but I think it's too late for you.
Joya, you're the judge. Is it too late? I originally said Jeffrey Lurie.
Yeah, but then you changed it.
I originally said Jeffrey Lurie.
I mean, it's obvious that Lurie Snead is a better combination, but you missed that opportunity.
Chat, what do you think?
We can't relitigate this. You can't go back now. You locked and loaded. You hit submit.
Joya?
No way.
What? It's a picks in? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. You know what? That's fine.
You know what? This would have been really close if you hadn't taken Derek Brown.
The people in the chat are saying my team's better.
No, they're not. They're saying that your wide receivers are better. Which that's not unfair.
Mike White, so far ZB is winning easily.
Okay, great. It's Derek Brown's.
My coaching staff's not very strong. But
burner account. Yeah, your coaching staff stinks.
Yeah.
I mean, not stinks. Brian Grubb I'm excited about Brian Grubb, but
okay.
that defense is going to have a lot of work to do with Nick Rallis. All right. Wow. What an episode.
This was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
This was
I
fun.
feel like it probably would have worked out better if we had done it ahead of time.
We've done it ahead of time and discussed it.
Our
That's true.
picks.
That's true. That's fair.
Maybe that's a lesson for next year.
Well, you know what? We do a show every day. This is part of the fun.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Anything else you'd like to say before you jet set off to the wilderness?
I'll be watching every day, or listening probably. I'll go on a morning walk and I'm listening to the show. I'm gonna miss doing this daily show with you. I'm gonna miss. Well, I mean, I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm gonna miss seeing Joy every day, but I am back. The reason Bo and I are saying goodbye now is because I am gone for a week, and then Bo's gone for 2 weeks. Right. So I am back for. I get back Wednesday. There's no show Thursday for July 4th. I will be on July 5th with Rich Hoffman. Correct. We're excited for that. Then Bo is gone from that Friday to the following, or to 2 Tuesdays later.
Not 2 Tuesdays later. Yeah.
Not the following Tuesday, the Tuesday after that. And then once we're back together, we're in training camp mode. We got a week until the first practice, till those pads hit. So you hear the clickety-clack of the cleats going out onto the field.
We don't hear that anymore, you say.
Well,
you think of Lehigh.
No, but you hear it at training camp because they're walking out. Yeah, the clickety-clack. And so
the clickety-clack.
I'm looking forward to I'm gone for 4 days. I'm looking forward to recharging for 4 days and coming back with a list of things.
I would like you to actually recharge.
Well, no, my version of recharging is I typically, in the past, I've done what I call an inventory of all my articles where I read through and see what I can do better. I can't do that. I'm not doing that here. I'm not listening to every show, but I will have a manifesto of what I can improve upon for year 2.
Sounds deranged.
Or a way to improve. Yes.
Okay. Well, that'll do it for this episode of the PHLY Eagles podcast. Back tomorrow, hoping for an episode of Fran Tack Bo. Tick Fran Bo, haven't decided yet. We'll decide on that tomorrow. But back at noon. And until then, thanks to everybody for listening and watching. We will talk to you later. And as always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.